In today's video, we'll be talking about the story of how Olusegun Obasanjo escaped being killed by Lieutenant Colonel Bukasuka Dimka in 1976 in Lagos State, Nigeria. Olusegun Obasanjo was deputy to Murtala Mohammed. Murtala was Nigeria's third military head of state. He succeeded General Yakubu Gowon in a bloodless military coup in 1975. He then commenced to the governance of Nigeria from the moment of his takeover in a military coup until he was gunned down by armed military men at a traffic point in Lagos State, Nigeria, barely 200 days from when he took the oath of office. The man who led the team that killed General Murtala Mohammed was Lieutenant Colonel Bukasuka Dimka of the Physical Education Corps of the Nigerian Army. The action of Dimka soon after the assassination of the head of state showed clearly that Dimka's mission was to effect a change of government in Nigeria and possibly install a government conceived by him. In such situation, if the person that served as Murtala's deputy had been seen or found, Dimka and his men would have assassinated him in their bid to effectively bring Murtala's regime to a conclusive end. As noted earlier, General Murtala's deputy was General Olusegun Obasanjo, also a general in the Nigerian army, but by a stroke of luck, Olusegun Obasanjo escaped being killed. The question then is, how was this possible? In his book titled Not My Will, first published in 1990 by University Press Limited and reprinted by the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library Foundation in 2022, particularly at page 39, Olusegun Obasanjo has narrated how he escaped being killed by Dimka's men on the day of the assassination of General Murtala Mohammed as follows. Unquote, on that fateful day, Friday 13th February 1976, chosen by Dimka to strike, I was to have several early appointments in the office, but my ADC had told me the day before that then Colonel Olubajowa had a baby and would come that morning to traditionally break the news to me. My ADC had told him that he would do it on Bajowa's behalf if that was all he was coming to do. I ticked off my ADC and ordered him to ask Olubajowa to see me as he desired. Promptly that morning, Olu showed up. After congratulating him, he asked my permission to name the child after me, which I of course granted. Olu was usually like that, respectful and formal when dealing with seniors and elders. We talked briefly about the state of the nation. He promised to come back and talk some more about things in general and the security situation in particular when he returns from visiting his family in Ibadan. In accordance with tradition, I sent through Olu a gift for the child and named the child Olusegun as the father desired. Obasanjo continues still, unquote. As soon as Olu left, I hurried in to dress up. I had just put on my trousers when I heard a loud shout outside. It was from the neighbors in the house across the road. They had heard that Murtala was shot close to his official residence, which was just 1 kilometer from where I lived. I was struck with disbelief and utter confusion. Soon after my ADC came in and confirmed what I just heard, he said he saw the vehicle and witnessed the confusion around the scene where the head of state was shot. While still trying to collect my thoughts and control myself, an old schoolmate, Mr. Akani Amodu, came in and suggested that I should come with him to a safe location. He lived in a block of flats almost overlooking the scene and had apparently also seen the pandemonium when the assassination took place. He was still trembling when he came in. I quickly changed into mufti as I still could not establish the identities of the coup plotters. It was advisable to be as unrecognizable as possible, if only lightly armed. He continues still, unquote. Mr. Modu offered to take me to his boys' quarter where he thought I would be safe. I declined, explaining that as much as I needed security, I would also need communication, and perhaps more so. I had no way in particular to go. We drove around Ikoyi, and as we did not think it was wise to drive out of the relative security of Ikoyi, we did not know what could lie in waiting. At 2 exits out of Ikoyi, Obalende and Awolowo Road, it was in this mode of confusion mixed with fear and anger that I saw a house which I definitely recognized at Queen's Drive. It was Chief SB Bakare's house. By this time, my anxiety to know what was going on was almost choking. I literally barged into the house. Fortunately, the chief was in and his telephone was working. The news had obviously spread through Ikoyi that Motola and I had been assassinated, and a melancholy mood greeted most people. Chief Bakare was struck with disbelief, fear and grief when he saw me. Quietly, he opened the door, and as soon as I was safely delivered, Mr. Amodu left. Obasanjo went on with the story, still unquote. I asked the chief if I could make use of his telephone, and he showed me into a small room. I sat down and immediately I called the Inspector General of Police number. Alhaji MD Yusuf picked up the phone, expressing sadness and subdued delight when he heard my voice. He was otherwise an emotionless man with vast experience in security duties. He did not ask me where I was, just in case someone was listening in. I did not also tell him either. I asked him to give me a situation report of what was happening. He confirmed that Motola had been assassinated along with his ADC, an officer who was unlucky to have taken the route I normally took to work, was shot near the petrol station on Awolowo Road. The officer turned out to be Colonel Ray Dumuje, who had apparently been mistaken to be me. This is a story of how General Olusegun Obasanjo, deputy to the slain head of state of Nigeria at that time, escaped being killed by Lieutenant Colonel B.S. Dimka and his men. If Obasanjo had been found by Dimka and his men on the same route with Murtala Muhammad, Obasanjo would have definitely been killed. What saved him was the delay caused by his visitor, Colonel Olu Bajowa, who was in Obasanjo's residence early in the morning to inform him of the birth of his son and take permission from Obasanjo, in line with the custom and tradition of the Yoruba people of Western Nigeria to name the baby after him. The short period of time spent by Obasanjo with Colonel Olu Bajowa turned out to be the delay that saved him from meeting death on the road. Obasanjo survived that moment and went on to succeed Murtala Muhammad as the new military head of state of Nigeria. He later saw to the conduct of democratic election and handover of power to civilian President Alhaji Shehu Shagari. In 1999, Obasanjo returned to the #1 office in Nigeria, this time as an elected civilian president. He governed Nigeria in the said capacity from 1999 to 2007, when he completed his second term in line with the Constitution of Nigeria. Obasanjo is alive and still strong at the time of making this particular video. He remains a significant figure in Nigeria, Africa, and the world at large. Thank you very much for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe to get more information about Nigerian history. See you guys next time.